Now, I've talked about punctuation. I've been talking about punctuation. Let me slightly talk about the indirect speech. The indirect speech. So, how do we change these sentences from direct to indirect speech? I will use the very examples I have given. Now, I first started with talking about tenses. When you are changing sentences from direct to indirect speech, let the candidate know the tense. The Bible says. The Bible cannot change. You can't say the Bible said. The Bible is a word which exists. It is there. It cannot change. Every time they say, they see the word says, the teacher says. So when the teacher says, see something continuous, it can't change. Even your answer. The teacher says sanitation is very important. Sanitation is very important, the teacher says. The Bible says you can't change the word says to says. No, it remains in your answer, says to says. Are we together, members? Yes. Now, I've just tipped you. Now, when they say said, this one is another thing. So said, that you are talking about past tense. So you are going to change it, said. But the says does not change. Now, we are concluding with some of the words that change from direct to indirect speech, and they are very unique. Let us begin with verbs. We have words like is. Namuri is suffering from measles. Namuri is suffering from measles. Now, this is, we use it in present tense. So we can't say Namuri, Josephine said, Namuri is. No. So we are going to change is to was. Because this is present tense and this is past tense. Remember, we report in past tense. Namuri said that Josephine was suffering from was, not is. Then we have this word. We have another word which is was. So was changes to were. All right? Yes. Then we have changes to was, changes to was, and many others. These are some of the unique words, and this is how they change. This is direct speech, this is indirect speech. So we must know that. Then we have got these other words like now. Now changes to then. Okay? Today. Today changes to that day. That day. Today, that day. All right? We have tomorrow. Tomorrow. Tomorrow changes to the following. The following, or the next day. The next day. Ladies and gentlemen, the next day. So, we have many other changes. Then we have yesterday. Let our candidate know about this. Yesterday changes to the previous day. Previous day, or the day after. The day after. Or the day before. This is the day before. The day before. Now, we have must. This is one of the most challenging words. Must. The day before. Then must changes to had to. Had to. Take note of this. It must even have a star as we are training our candidates. Here goes to there. Okay? So there are many other words. Here there. Then we have another one, will changes to would. These are modal verbs. Shall changes to should. Can changes to could, and many others. Now, these are some of the few words that we must look at as we are training our candidates. As we are training our candidates, because they cannot miss in the sentence that they bring. Okay? I have told you that now changes to then, today, that day, tomorrow, the following day, or the day, or the next day. All right? Yesterday, the previous day, or the day before. Yes, must changes to had to. Here, there, will, would, shall, should, can, and could. All right? Yes. Now, I want to give an example of a sentence, and we see how we can change it. Like now you can see, in one PLE, they brought a sentence like this. They said, look at that statement. It says the chairman, the mechanic must clean the garage today. Say the chairman. So here, they wanted the candidate to identify this modal verb. They wanted to identify this adverb of time. And they say, what do we say here? The chairman said, that. Remember, whenever you see direct speech, we go with the word that. The chairman says that the mechanic must goes to had to clean the garage that day. Because today goes to that day. Full stop. And remember, this indirect speech we don't quote. That's what candidates should know. That in indirect speech we don't quote. We only quote when it is direct speech. And in indirect speech we emphasize the use of the word that to show that the sentence is in indirect speech. Then these other changes and this one change. Ladies and gentlemen, these are we have gone through some of the most failed questions in primary leaving examination. Thank you. My name is Mukenye David.